I'm Trevor,
I'm Nick.
and we are the Nerdy Cinephiles.
Enjoy the file. What's up, guys? Today we begin our review of the DC animated universe, which means we will be talking about Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox. Trevor has a whole bunch of notes, and I have not so many notes in my head, but he'll be running down the plot, characters, animation, cast, and then finally we'll give our final thoughts and save the reviews for the end of the whole series.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I got a good amount of notes. Feverishly started typing them up at one point at a movie I've seen like 6 times. Uh,
Yeah, same.
this time I actually didn't go that in depth on like the voice actors. I mean, the only notable ones that I put down was Kevin Conroy as Batman, and then Michael B. Jordan as Cyborg, because this is the first movie in the DC animated universe, but they do end up changing the animation style quite a bit.
Yeah.
And also,
So, like, yeah, it's weird.
no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, like, I guess they kind of took a leap of just, character design, and then they just. It wasn't received too great by the fans, but the direction they changed in later films definitely was the way to go. And they also recasted, I believe, all the voice actors. The only one I'm not sure of if they recasted Green Lantern, because he sounds similar in this film to movies like Justice League War and the few others that he makes appearances in.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it is the start of the DCAU, but like you said, the casting is different, which is weird to think about. But I really pictured this movie as the end of another, which kind of just clears the slate for everyone and just shows that there's this multiverse, and it brings us to the next world with the next movie of Justice League War.
Yeah, and honestly, all my viewings of seeing this, I never thought of it that way. I just felt like they tried something, it didn't work out. They're gonna try something new, but your take on it puts like, I guess, more continuity into the just choice to change the visual design of the movie, similar to how the Rebirth comics switched over to New 52.
Yeah, because like I don't think many people first time watching this will think that it's connected to those other movies because like it's a totally different cast, and like I would almost say the cast of the Flashpoint Paradox is kind of the best cast we get because of course it's Kevin Conroy as Batman and Michael B. Jordan as like Cyborg, even though the Cyborg voice in this movie is super like auto tuned, which
Yeah,
is it kind of ruins Michael B. Jordan's voice, but it is what it is. And then I think like Shamar Moore is the cyborg in the rest of the series, which he does a great job too. Don't get me wrong, the cast for the rest of the series is great, but it just has this classic cast in this movie, which makes it feel that much better. And like it's connected to all the past animated movies we've gotten with Kevin Conroy in that group.
yeah. Again, I mean, not gonna harp too much on the visual design, but I only had issues with characters like Aquaman and Superman just
Yeah.
roided out of their minds. Just,
Yeah, I've noticed that their neck size, dude.
I mean, their neck size is probably like the same width as my torso.
Yeah, dude, they probably do push-ups with their forehead.
uh, all
But
right.
yeah, dude, they look weird. They look, what can I describe it to? They're like it's kind of a more animated style. Like their
Yeah,
faces are really kind of close together, their facial features. But yeah, Superman does kind of look off, but
yeah, and we'll get more into characters like him and Aquaman as this progresses. But yeah, kind of hop into a plot. I mean,
right in, yeah,
yeah.
hop right into the movie.
All right. So, movie starts off with Barry Allen running after a car and doing something what I thought was very just kind of cliche, just saying you're supposed to stop and help people when they need help, and I'm like, okay, yeah,
That's a classic Flash quippy line.
yeah, and I just that was just an eye roll for me. I was like, oh, okay, a little heavy-handed.
It's gonna be that type of movie.
Yeah, and yep. And his mom tells him, you need to, you know, uh, yeah. She says like, oh, you need to basically just live in the moment. You can't change everything if things don't go your way. Which
Oh
again,
yeah.
it's slightly heavy-handed about like, don't change the
Yeah.
timeline. And
Yeah, this movie is heavy on exposition and foreshadowing.
yeah, which
Which I don't mind always, but after rewatching it so many times, definitely the rewatch value just starts to diminish. You can see it all over the place. But
yeah, I mean, a little heavy-handed, but it's the first movie, and I believe they were still planning to set up a universe after this. So, I mean, just hop right into it, get it out of the way. I'm fine with that.
mm.
Um,
But the Rogues Gallery though, we get to see them right off the rip. That's kind of fun.
yeah. I mean, it jumps to Barry seeing his mother murdered in his house, and is at his mother's tombstone talking to Iris, his wife, and again, she's like, "Oh, you can't, change the past." Same old shtick. I mean, but then he gets a call from the Justice League, or sorry, from the news reporters saying that the Flash Museum is being broken into, and he's like, "Well, I can change this." And again, another eye roll for me, but I mean, whatever. But it was cool seeing the Rogues kind of team up together to take out the Flash, and Flash even makes the comment of like, "Well, you guys are not smart enough to come up with this on your own." Like,
Yeah, I feel like we've seen this scene so many times. Like it feels like always when we get like a Flash centric storyline, it always has to do with the museum and like his rogues gallery trying to go after it and ruin like his day. Because I believe there's an episode in Justice League Unlimited where it's a solo, like Flash episode, and like he has his like Flash Memorial Day or whatever it is in an opening of a museum, and the Rogues Gallery shows up there to ruin that. So it's kind of funny to see it here too.
yeah, and I mean, aside from like certain people like I'd say Thawne and like Captain Cold, I mean, you got like Mirror Master who's okay, but then you got like Captain Boomerang, which he's just always funny and comedic, but I just think like the Rogues are just not good enough to keep up with the Flash.
Yeah,
So,
not that much of a threat.
yeah.
That's why they have to team up to even make any sort of difference.
Well, not even team up to like beat him. They just team up to just just vandalism.
Yeah,
I mean,
to affect him anyway.
I mean, yeah, you think about it, it's like they're considered supervillains, but they're really just committing vandalism.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, and Mirror Master's a weird villain because in some incarnations he's pretty OP because he can literally show up in any reflective surface, and then other things like this he's dispatched so quickly.
Yeah, and that's more or less to move along the plot that Thawne is the one behind it, and he seals
Yeah,
up
that's
Flash in this sort of
Which
goo or gel that won't liquefy no matter how fast he tries to vibrate through it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about the goo. The goo is a very weird ex machina type thing in that movie, but
I mean, I guess it was just put there to like show some sort of danger.
yeah, they had to trap him somehow.
But the part I did like is, Thawne's like tells the Rogue, she's like, yeah, I put bombs on all you guys. Like, I'm gonna level this city, and he's like, kill the Flash. And the Rogues, they had no idea. And then we get the introduction of the well, not introduction, but cameo of the Justice League members
Yep.
bursting through the door. And
They all take a separate rogue.
yeah, they all are working to defuse the bombs in their own unique way. I liked it. They all had their own way of doing it. Superman.
Yeah, some more effective than others.
Yeah, I mean Superman. I liked his just because. I mean,
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
all he did was just hold the bomb in his hands, wait for it to go off. Green
Yeah,
Lantern
and then
takes Batman up to space, and
which I don't think he really needed to go to space for that, but
I mean, yeah, but
he could have just went in the sky a little bit. Because what if the bomb was about to go off and then they had to throw Batman out of the bubble just to who was up in space? Mirror Master, right?
yes, it was no, yes, it was Mirror Master. Yep, he was there.
Yes. Whoever it was, what if he just had to die? And then if they eject Batman out. I mean, I guess Hal could have made another bubble, but and then he would have just died in space. But whatever.
I mean, it's one of those things where they're not going to let any of those guys die, even though
Yeah,
a
yeah.
week later they'll be back to doing their old crime shit again. So,
Mm.
um, yeah. And then I'm a little fogging as I think I skipped this part of my notes, where then it kind of transitions to Flash just running away, and then he wakes up at his desk, and he's seeing that there's some rogues fighting. Citizen Cold and Captain Boomerang are fighting each other, and he's all kind of out of sorts, like just kind of like saying, "Oh, where's the Flash?" And people are just like, "Who's the Flash?" So he runs out of the building, attempts to use his powers, and ends up tripping down the stairs. And as soon as he opens his eyes and wakes up, there's a woman standing over him, and it is his mother, who is much older at this point. And
Which I want to address this right off the bat. Why do you think he lost his powers? Because like he remembers he has his memories of the past universe that he was in before he went back,
yeah,
but somehow his powers didn't carry over to this next universe.
I mean,
I mean,
it's one of those like plot devices, I guess. I mean,
yeah. Besides plot device, though, like I wonder, I want to know the real reason. I don't think we ever get that, but
I think it just kind of they throw his mother in there, and it's kind of like the shock of, oh, she's alive now, and he brings her to this side street and like tries to tell her like I'm the Flash, and she's like, who's the Flash? So there's not a speedster in this universe, and we realize that this timeline is all sorts of messed up. We then cut to Batman, who is now using guns and attempting to take out a villain who I believe was Pogo. And actually, that was voiced by the DC Animated Universe Harley Quinn, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she was very much of a Harley Quinn type character.
Yeah, and he's questioning her about the Joker, and she's not giving any information, and he just kind of brutally like takes a knife and starts clawing or digging it into her like glasses. And then once he realizes she won't talk, he just throws her off a building.
He's like, fuck it, dude.
Yeah. And then Cyborg saves Pogo and starts talking to Batman about trying to get him to help him out with what we now discover. There's a war between the Amazonians and the Atlanteans, and a little bit later we'll get into the reasoning on why that's happening. But yeah, Batman's not a fan of Cyborg, since now that he's just a government weapon working for the president. And yeah, that's when we first get introduced to Michael B. Jordan as Cyborg, and we get a hologram image of a few different superheroes, or some are villains, but in this timeline everything's kind of switched around. But one aspect I did like was, and my knowledge of Shazam in the comics is average, but I don't remember ever seeing, I guess, the Shazam kids, where you need all the kids who, in regular continuity, would have their own Shazam-like powers, making the Shazam family, but all of them morphing together to make just the one being of Shazam.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I was confused on that. Like,
yeah, I almost want to say I think that's from the very first incarnation of Shazam. I'm not 100% on that, but maybe.
I mean, I'm going
Either
off
way.
I'm going off my own knowledge. I honestly didn't go too deep into the outer workings of the comics and seeing, the origins of this certain aspect of the character, but whatever, I'm not going to get off track. But yeah, then we see some military guy who, with the white hair and the goatee, I thought personally at first it was Slade, Deathstroke, but we find out that he's being hunted by Amazonians, and we find out that it's Steve Trevor. And
at that point,
Wonder Woman puts the lasso of truth around him, trying to get some information out, but it's not working. So she puts the lasso of truth around him and kind of like Batman, once she realizes she's not going to get any information, she, and I put in my notes, I thought it was kind of brutal. She slowly levitates up in the air and just hangs him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This movie is rated PG-13, but it is the darkest PG-13 movie I've ever seen. Like, I don't know how they didn't get an R for that.
I mean, not just that.
I mean, there's head decapitations. There's some swearing.
Headshots.
Like, yeah, they push it to the max.
Oh yeah,
Which, hey, I'm a fan of, but it's just kind of unbelievable that they got a PG-13 for this.
I feel like just due to it being animation, and also
Yeah, you
that
can
I don't
get
think
away with a lot.
anyone dropped the F bomb in this movie. Um,
Yeah, no, it was like
so
light swearing, but
still,
the violence alone. But yeah,
the yeah. Anyways,
but yeah, back to that Amazonian scene. Do we see Grifter in that one, or is that later on?
That's later on.
Yeah.
But then, we get Barry Allen trying to figure out what's going on, and even if this was his version's Batman, like even if this was Bruce Wayne, the fact that he just kind of broke into the Batcave, I don't understand his reasoning. I guess. I mean, yeah, he wants to figure things out and all, but like.
Yeah, he wanted to go to Batman. I mean, Batman's the smartest character he knows, and like obviously Batman's Batman. So he's kind of the first person you'd go to in a situation like this, but
Well,
he very much quickly finds out it's not the Batman he knows.
Yeah, but what I was saying is, understand like the reasoning, like go to the smartest guy, but I mean breaking into his house, that's not,
I mean, he's kind of assuming this Batman is Bruce and the Bruce he knows, or at least some sort of shadow of the Bruce he used to know. So I think he assumed that he would be okay with it. I mean, they're friends, but.
Well, so he goes into the Batcave, which is looking very worse for wears. And he notices the gun. Well, the iconic
Alfred definitely does not exist in this one.
Yep. And then he notices a pile of C4, and the one line I liked is Flash was like, he's like, "Geez, what made this Batman go from the world's greatest hero to the Unabomber?"
Yeah.
And then he's immediately just knocked on his ass by Batman, and Flash is trying to reason with him, and he's just saying Bruce, Bruce, and Batman gets more upset and just asks him why he's saying that name, and then he looks at a picture, Flash looks at a picture and realizes that in this universe, it was Bruce that died in the alley, and the Batman that we're now seeing is Thomas Wayne.
So good. Favorite part of my movie was that storyline.
Oh, yeah. And
I mean, this Batman is like, you just keep wanting to see his character again and again and again.
Yeah, I mean, some people don't like the idea of it, but I mean, in certain
it's so badass.
It's a Batman who just really doesn't care. He uses guns, and I don't know, he's just really cool, and the character design is awesome.
I mean, he's one of the best non-Bruce Wayne Batmans. I mean, there's just no way about it. Oh, non-Bruce Wayne Batmans, I mean, people like Batman because of Bruce Wayne, and it takes a lot for another Batman to live up to that level, and he definitely is. He's top 3 for sure.
Yeah, I'd have to say he's my favorite. But yeah, they
over Bruce.
Oh no, sorry, I meant of other depictions.
Oh yeah,
other than
you were about to catch these hands.
But yeah, even Thomas Wayne is as smart as Bruce in this universe, as far as being a detective, because he quickly puts together that Flash is in the wrong timeline, and Flash did something to mess it up, and they're trying to figure out, how to fix everything. We then cut to see a warship where we see Lex Luthor and Slade trying to make a plan to attack the Amazonians and the Atlanteans.
Yeah, this might be my favorite scene.
And then, they're ambushed by the Atlanteans, and it's really brutal fight. I mean, we see Aqualad throw spears of water, or I guess they turned to ice, but they looked more watery. But throw spears through people. Deathstroke is just dealing out headshots like nobody's business.
And then Lex Luthor's just shooting all these these Atlanteans with just a pistol.
Yeah,
and somehow it's working.
Yeah, I mean,
just because it's just because it's
But I like it. I mean, it was really
cool. Oh yeah, for sure.
Deathstroke fights Black Mana, and Black Mana just rips a hole through him with his laser, which was
amazing.
How did they manage a PG-13 rating? I don't know, but I'm still okay.
The fan service is off the chain.
Oh yeah, I mean, talking about it now and looking back, I probably should have went a little more in depth on like just every character that was in there, but I was, a little cocky. I'm like, oh, I've seen this movie plenty of times. I mean, I'll be able to do it no problem without taking too many notes. I mean,
it's just a fun movie.
Oh,
you get caught up in it.
Yeah, and I know it pretty well. I mean, my notes don't even say anything really about the plot. I'm just going off of top of my head. But yeah, and one question I actually kind of thought is, there are role reversals in this universe. Like, good guys are bad, vice versa. I wonder if Lex Luthor and Deathstroke are, like, good guys in this, or if they're just, like, still bad, but they're, saying, hey, we don't want the world to end due to this war, so we're gonna, or maybe they're just racist against Atlanteans and Amazonians, or racist against Atlanteans and sexist towards Amazonians.
Yeah, no, I think they're still like they're not the greatest, but Aquaman and the Amazonians, they're much worse than Lex Luthor and Deathstroke in this universe.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of like the bad guys stay bad, but the good guys are more bad.
Yeah, like everyone's just kind of a piece of garbage in this.
Yeah, it's like, who are the good guys?
Yeah. We then transition over to Flash and Batman trying to restore Flash's powers by recreating the similar effect of, or
the conditions.
Yeah, similar conditions on when he got his powers the first time, which, and first time viewing it, I was like, okay, cool, he's gonna get his powers back, and lightning strikes the chair that he's in, all the vials of chemicals spill everywhere, and in the moment you're like, okay, he's gonna get his powers. No, he just catches on fire.
He turns into Anakin.
Yeah.
or Deadpool.
I was waiting for him to say I hate you to Batman.
I hate you.
But yeah, again, like, that was pretty brutal. He's just completely charred body.
Yeah, and he's like, fuck it, let's do it again. Let's run it back.
Yeah, later on. But we then get Cyborg talking to the president, who I believe was trying to be Barack Obama at the time. But
yeah, it's very much of a Barack.
It is, but I was like, maybe get a better voice actor, or maybe just talk to Barrio, see if he wants to come in.
Yeah, I don't think they were concerned about making it too 100% accurate, but that's definitely what they were insinuating.
Yeah.
Which we don't see too many real-life presidents show up too often, so kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and then, after Cyborg's talking to him, they're discussing the war, and, we need to get Batman on our side. He's, the greatest strategist. We need him for, to help take out the Amazonians and Atlanteans, just trying to deal with the war as a whole. And then we cut to the Flash, and he's freaking out. He's in a lot of pain. He's got 3rd-degree burns all over his body. And then Thomas tells the story, or we get a flashback of the night in the alley. And it just shows, starting off, just Thomas Wayne beating the ever-living shit out of, which I assume is Joe Chill, yeah.
Yeah, it must be.
And then, once he stops, he turns, and he sees his wife, Martha, crying on top of Bruce's body, who was shot. And one of the more, probably Yeah, probably one of the most chilling things I've ever seen in animation is her
Yeah.
crying, and she tries to stop, puts her hand over her mouth, but her hand is covered in blood. Realizes that and just completely
Mm.
mentally snaps, goes into a laughing fit, just full of hysteria. And once she removes her hand from her mouth, it resembles a smile, and we realize that she became the Joker.
Yeah, we never really get to see her in full Joker, but I mean that scene is enough to understand the situation and
Oh
know
yeah,
what.
I mean, either whether it be lipstick or Heath Ledger's cuts on
Yeah.
the side, if there's like a protruding like smile or
Oh yeah,
an over
yeah, it doesn't
exaggeration
take
of a smile, that plus the hysterical laughing, I mean, it was
it
pretty
doesn't
obvious to put two and two together.
yeah, it doesn't take Batman to understand that.
Which I would love a solo series on
Just them too.
just those two. I mean,
Yeah.
Batman.
Live action.
I'll even take animated. I mean,
Honestly, I will too.
I mean,
But I mean, Lauren Cohen and Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame we'll never get that.
I mean, we were teased it, but
Uh,
never got it. I mean, they definitely were trying to lead into
yeah,
something, but with that movie. But we'll talk about that train wreck at some other point.
yeah, yeah. That's a whole nother episode or two.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one. You know me, I could probably stretch it to two.
Mm.
I have so many complaints, but try and stay positive for this video. All right, thanks for bringing up some dark memories, Nick. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, and then we jump to Aquaman talking to a scientist about how he has a plan to end all the Amazonians, and the doctor's saying, "Oh, the weapon might not be ready," and Aquaman's just like, "Well, just make it ready." And once he leaves, we see that it's Captain Atom, just in this giant bomb.
Yep.
Or
Yet again,
I guess a
so
containment.
dark.
I guess a containment facility, but I just feel bad. It's like I like love
So
and hate just how they treat Captain Atom in like every
e-
aspect. He's always a
everything.
bomb. He's always a bomb.
Yep.
Or like if someone's fighting him and they cut his suit, again, he's a bomb. Which I mean, that's
Yep.
his powers. I mean, he's got nuclear powers and he wears that suit to keep everything in. But I just
Yeah, but he never feels like he's there to be his own character. He's always there to be this abomination or human weapon.
yeah, exactly. Like his only purpose is for people to capture him and then basically just cut his suit open and blow him up. And I'm like, it's like
Yep.
I liked you in the animated
And
TV show. Yeah, in the TV
yeah,
show.
yeah, I loved him
Even
because
he had like
he's
a Texas
on.
accent, right? He's like a southern accent, if I believe,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
something like that. But I liked him, but then every like between like Injustice and like this movie, and I believe there was a one with Darkseid where they just use him as a bomb. I'm like, oh come on, like maybe get a little more creative, I guess. But yeah,
It's like, yeah, you know that meme of that anime guy pointing at a butterfly?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's DC pointing at Captain Atom and be like, "Is this a bomb?"
I wouldn't even go as far as that. The guy's pointing at the butterfly and it's just bomb.
Yeah, bomb.
Not even questioning it.
Yeah, not even questioning it. You're right. You're right.
All right, and then let's see. Continuing on, we have Lois Lane running around and running away from, I believe it's Cerberus, the giant black dog that they had. I believe that was supposed to be Cerberus, and she's being hunted down by Amazonians, and she is saved by Grifter, who
Mm.
people who don't know who he is would probably just look at him and be like, "Why is Deadpool in this movie?"
Yeah, he is such a cool character that definitely needs to be explored more. But
Yeah,
I mean, he kind of is Deadpool, but he's Deadpool.
without the powers, I guess.
It's weird because Deadpool was made from Deathstroke, but Grifter, I'm not sure if Grifter came before both of them or after both of them, or
I
maybe
would
in
assume,
between.
I think it was after Deadpool.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, Marvel stole Deathstroke, made him Deadpool, and then DC's like, well, fuck it, we'll just steal Deadpool and one up you again.
Yeah.
But either way, cool character.
Yeah, great character. So yeah, and one thing I gotta add is like, so Lois Lane is always like, you know, the damsel in distress type of deal, but in this movie and in the last movie of this universe, um, Apocalypse War, she just seems to thrive in like post-apocalyptic situations.
Yeah, she always turns into a badass.
I mean, yeah, like I like that. I
Just
thought it was like really cool.
yeah, oh for sure.
I mean,
I mean, she also doesn't have Superman in this universe to save her every time, so maybe she had to learn to save herself.
yeah, I mean, and when there's like a three-sided war going on, I mean, and everything's in ruin, yeah, I guess, you know, try to
Yeah,
make the best out of the situation, or, you know, at least not die. So,
yeah,
she seems to be doing a good job at not dying.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah, for being a side character, no matter what universe she's in, she's always a significant player,
yeah.
which is cool.
I mean, oh, sorry, I missed something. Before she meets up with Grifter, she seems to be cornered by the Amazons, but is saved by a speedster. Who
Oh right,
we were wondering, does Flash get his powers back, or what could it be? But we end up kind of, you know,
yeah,
piece it together. And Grifter shows up, and he's with a few other members. And I forget the two people he's with, but she's asking them if, you know, do you guys have a speedster on your team? And he's like, well, there's no speedsters around anymore, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then we get a slight cameo from my boy Etrigan, who just pops up out of the ground and just says his little rhyme, and then
50 Cent.
I'm saying, yep, 50 Cent cast him as Etrigan. DC,
Yeah, get this.
so much money.
Yeah, get this. Get this trending. Hashtag 50 Cent for Etrigan.
Yeah, I would. I mean, if that happened, I should at least be paid something, since I think I'm the first person to actually come up with that.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure.
Just a little money, you know, like just a couple mil, but you know, I won't harp on that too much. So we get to see a military base and a general who I believe, yep, it's General Lane, Lois's father, showing this pilot who we find out is Hal Jordan. A whole bunch of just different military equipment until they get to a room where there's an alien spaceship that they want him to pilot. And we get to see Abin Sur's body in a cryo tube, and Hal just kind of questions like, "Oh, how did he get here?" And they just say, "Oh, he crashed, and you know," and then his ring flew off of his hand. And as Hal's looking at the body of Abin Sur, they sort of pan it, or I guess animate it, so the silhouette of the costume through the glass shows up on Hal. It's like, oh yeah, he's supposed to be Green Lantern. And
Yeah.
the one line I liked in that scene was General Lane was trying to brief him on the situation about, like, you know, can you fly this spaceship, this and that, and the only question Hal has is like, his ring flew off into space, and Lane's just like, I showed you a dead alien body, an alien spaceship, and your question is did the ring fly off into space? Just, you know, Hal just kind of being cheeky and just, you know, cocky, so. We then get a glimpse of, which is, at the time, or on a first viewing, it might be hard to kind of see, but they do a slight flashback where you see a little pod flying, and it goes over two farmers who are in a vehicle who are supposed to be Martha and John Kent. That's his father's name, right?
They change it.
Yeah, I don't.
They change it
They
every
just
now
show
and then.
them.
So who knows?
Yeah, so they show them.
It's
It's
Mama and Papa Kent.
Okay, Mom and Papa Kent. So Mom and Papa Kent are driving through a cornfield, and they see the pod go over, but it doesn't land at their farmstead like, you know, it should. Uh,
Hmm.
Instead, it lands in Metropolis and basically just nukes the whole city. So we get another scene with Flash and Batman uh, trying to get his powers back, and Flash is like, I'll do this even if it kills me. So
Wait. So you're telling me, in my memory, from him trying the first time and the second time, it was that far apart?
I I believe so. Yeah. I mean,
Holy cow,
I think
that's
there's at
crazy.
least like a good. I mean, all these scenes that I've broken down so far are like 3 to 5 minute scenes, but
Yeah.
I believe it was like a
They,
good 15 minutes of like we don't really see him. We get more exposition on the world and like you know everything that's
yeah,
happened.
yeah, I guess so. That's crazy.
Yep. Um. So yeah, he gets his tries the experiment again. This time it works, and he gets his powers back. And then their new goal is to find Superman. And Batman says there's no metahuman that fits that description. So they end up contacting Cyborg and just kind of telling him, what the deal is. And he's like, well, I don't know anything about that. And Batman's like, you're basically a supercomputer who has all the government's information. Just find him.
Yep.
And so, yeah, now they find the facility where Superman's being held. And as they walk in, they see a whole bunch of test tubes just full of just all these deformed just creatures. Which, again, whenever someone catches Superman, they always want to try and clone him.
Yep. Cadmus.
Yep, Cadmus. And they always just they always fail. I mean, it would have been cool. I was looking, I didn't see any like near perfect clones, only just
Mm,
the gross ones. But it would have been kind of cool to see like a Superboy in there somewhere.
yeah. Or like a Doomsday or something.
That would have been cool as well. Um, so they go to Superman's cell, and they have him just basically flooded with his room is like flooded with red lights,
Yep.
which drain his powers. And Superman gets his powers from the sun. Uh, so yeah, when we see him, well, when we saw him the first time in this movie, he was big, fat neck, all that stuff. But now he's just, I mean,
He's looking
emaciated.
like, yeah, you know that long neck guy on the
Yeah.
internet?
Oh yeah.
He looks like long neck.
Yeah. I mean, and he's skinny, and that's coming from me. I mean, yeah, he does not
Yeah.
look well, and he obviously hasn't had any interaction with humans or anybody other than probably being tested on. Because,
Yeah, no, he's very weird.
yeah, he can barely speak English, and, it was kind of cool seeing, like, that iteration, but the line where, like, Flash is like, oh, we're friends, or he's like, yeah, I'm your friend, and Superman just looks at him, he's like, friends?
Friends?
And I was like, okay, so I guess y'all are cool now, so.
Yeah.
And so they pick him up, and they're like, yeah, like, Superman's our last kind of hope to, like, fix everything. They bring him outside, and,
He just flies away.
well, no, first, actually, they bring him outside, and the government gets on their
Oh, right.
interphone, and they're, like, saying, Cyborg, like, you breach classified information, you're trying to, free this prisoner, yada, yada, yada. So they start to open fire. Flash, and which was, I mean, I guess for the time it was good, but the mixing CG with animation uh, doesn't always work out well. I mean, because you're stuck so long watching animation that when you see a full CG scene,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
you kind of notice something's off. But anyways, I digress. Flash sprints across the water towards the enemy boats, dismantles all their guns, like down to every individual screw. It looked like. Um, Batman shooting back at him, and then Superman, in order to protect his friends or his newfound friends, just kind of starts, freaking out, loses control of his powers, and lasers a whole bunch of people. just down to their skeletons, which was kind of brutal. And he had quite a bit of a body count.
Yeah.
I mean, he did that. I believe he blew up like a ship or two or something like that, and Flash like yells at him to cover his eyes. So Superman gets a little bit of a grip on his newfound powers, and looks around and realizes just kind of what he did. Feels bad and flies away. And that's the last time we see him.
Feels bad, man.
Or is it?
Or is it? Dun dun dun.
All right. So one thing I glossed over, or skipped, was on purpose, and because I feel like it kind of needs its own discussion, and this is a good segue before we get to the final act of the movie, is why the Amazonians and the Atlanteans are fighting. Which, in my opinion, I thought it was dumb, the reasoning. Just, I mean...
it's like a little... I don't know how to explain it.
It's, again, that's a little dumb is the only way I can explain it. So, it starts off with a flashback to the Amazonians and the Atlanteans, or Aquaman and Wonder Woman shaking hands with their respective people.
Yeah, making a peace treaty.
Yeah, making a peace treaty. And you see Aquaman's wife Mira behind him. And then it cuts to Wonder Woman and Aquaman hooking up, and Mira sees this. So she decides to go into Wonder Woman's room while Wonder Woman is sharpening her sword. They get into a fight, and Wonder Woman decapitates her.
Yep.
Yeah.
When honestly, do you get this reference? I think Mira should have just went in Aquaman's room and just shit in his bed.
Or cut off his finger. Oh, God, are we gonna get canceled for that?
Hopefully, to be honest.
Fuck it, dude.
Fuck it, dude.
But, yeah, I mean, again, this is something where I just wanted to have, like, our own, like, mini discussion on it. Just because, I don't know. I want to get, like, your thoughts on, like, just the reasoning. Because, like, it seems so, like, I mean, obviously, like...
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
Stuff, but, like, it seems, like, very basically just petty. And it's, like, not just, like, they're gonna go to... I mean, they're going to war with each other, but, like, they really go at it. Like, they could have been set up, like, a 1v1 type of situation. Like, you know. But, no, they're just gonna bring it to, you know, the surface world and, yeah, just fuck everyone else.
Yep. Well, I mean, yeah, I try to look at it more for the fact that she killed Mira, and Aquaman obviously still loved her, even though he cheated on her, so I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but...
Yeah, like, I could see, to a degree, his motivation, like, well, I can see his motivation. Wonder Woman killed his wife, like, you know, he still cares.
Yeah.
Like, you know, call it heat of the moment he hooked up with Wonder Woman. But, I mean, bro, you caused this. This is your fault.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and maybe, you know...
They both did. They're both in the wrong.
Yeah, maybe Wonder Woman could have, you know, just beat the crap out of Mira, or, you know, imprisoned her. No, just gonna decapitate
Or just
her.
No.
Yeah, so that was... I mean, it segues into the story.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, nothing we can really change or do about it, but...
And that was a long time ago in the context of the story, right? Like,
I believe
this is
at least a couple
was it years?
Yeah,
that's crazy. Couple year battle for this.
Yeah, I believe it's been a few years. I mean, I could always do quick research, but I'm too lazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why they're all fighting, and yeah. So I guess now we're segueing to the tail end of everything. So, Batman, Cyborg, and Flash are now a team, and they're heading over to what will be the kind of final battle as the Amazonians and Atlanteans are marching.
Well, you know what I just realized?
Metropolis. Yep, go ahead.
So, not to date this episode, but we're like a month away from the Snyder Cut, and we're pretty much seeing that Batman, Cyborg, and the Flash are teaming up in the nightmare sequences and that. So it's kind of in which the nightmare sequence is a different universe. So it's kind of weird in this movie. It's a different universe, and then we're getting Batman, Cyborg, and Flash. They're kind of like the apocalyptic trinity.
Yeah, I mean.
So I wonder if
I
that's
can see
where
that.
Zack Snyder kind of got that from. But
No, that's actually a really good point. Did not see it that way, but I like it.
I just realized that as you said it.
I mean, the only issue is like, I mean, I don't know if it's better or worse, but they're not, dealing with Atlanteans and Amazonians. They're dealing with Apocalypse and an evil Superman. So I think that might
Yeah,
be a little harder.
and a tattoo-less Joker.
uh, yeah, I mean,
That's another episode as well.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Nick and I both have a lot of stuff we could ramble about, which is, it's interesting to start this first episode, just because in our normal conversations, we talk like we do for this podcast, but he'll say something about, Joker not having tattoos, and I'll just go off on a tangent for
And then
an
we
hour.
go on an hour rant.
Yeah, an hour rant about something completely different than what we initially started talking about.
Which maybe someday we'll have a free for all episode. We'll see how you guys like that.
That would be fantastic, I think. Unless we don't talk about,
right.
Hot topics for me, like
hot topic.
I mean, like
you shop a Hot Topic?
Oh, all the time.
All right, we're off the point. We started with Batman, Cyborg, and Flash, and ended up at Hot Topic.
I know. Yep. See, this is a tangent. Let's talk about.
All right. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So
go back. Continue. Yep.
Heading to the scene in the final battle, basically, and Flash asks Batman, "Oh, can we take the Batplane?" And Thomas Wayne just looks at him like, "The Batplane," and it cuts them just not in the typical style Batplane. It's just a normal airplane, like a private jet.
Yeah.
And Flash makes a comment about how the design isn't as unique, but it is more spacious in this one. And Thomas Wayne just looks at Cyborg, and he's like, "Well, the perk of this plane is I keep it fully stocked with high tier stuff." And Cyborg looks back at him and says, "I don't drink," gets up and walks away. And Batman just says, "Of course you don't, Boy Scout."
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't remember that though. He
definitely calls him a Boy Scout either then or when they land. And
oh no, yeah, you're right though. I just don't recall it. I mean, a little nod to Superman and their relationship.
Yeah. So, the plane is taken down by Atlanteans. They start to crash. Flash slows down the plane from crashing by breaking the window and using his powers to rev up his arms really fast and make a tornado to kind of slow the plane down. And we then cut to a battle, which I believe where this takes place is the ruins of Metropolis. And we see Amazonians and Atlanteans fighting. We get Grifter and his group with Lois Lane kind of doing their own thing. We see a Minotaur, which is kind of cool. I like I mean, it was only two, but I liked seeing some mythological creatures from the side of the Amazonians. And Shazam shows up. Everyone's fighting. It's just a big battle. And the one thing I will say is they call him the Shazam kids, but Wonder Woman starts to get into a fight with Shazam, but she calls him Captain Thunder.
Yes.
And I mean, whatever. It's fine.
So his original name was obviously Captain Marvel, as we all know.
Yeah.
But they changed it for obvious reasons so that it doesn't get confused with other Captain Marvels that exist in the world that we don't need to talk about.
Yeah. Like,
so Captain Thunder. I wonder if that was just a nickname or if that's the official name.
I mean, they call them the Shazam kids, but I feel like the kids just call themselves in that form
Captain
Thunder,
Thunder.
just because they're
Yeah, so maybe the
dumb
kids came
kids.
up with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so maybe that's a good excuse.
just dumb little kids making up dumb names, being dumb.
But either way, it's Shazam.
Yeah. Oh, also, Brie Larson hashtag not my Captain
No,
Marvel.
no, we're no,
Okay,
don't
so
try.
on to the plot.
Nope. Yeah, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I just had to say my piece. Um, you were
You
worried,
son
huh?
of a bitch. You son of a
I'm
bitch.
gonna sneak that into every episode.
I was oh my god, I was really hoping you wouldn't go there.
All right. So the action towards the end gets just more brutal. I mean, Wonder Woman is able to get the lasso of truth around Captain Thunder. Sorry, it just felt bad coming out of my mouth. But she gets a lasso of truth and asks him what the word is to revert them back to the
Ooh,
child form. And
that's a good one though.
he says
I
Shazam,
like this.
and then Wonder Woman proceeds to stab the children.
Full Anakin again. This is two Anakin references.
I mean, again, like, okay, the blood and stuff, like, and the violence, that's, okay, you can get PG-13, but, I mean, they don't show it. They just show her holding up, going,
Yeah.
that's it, and then
Yeah,
cuts.
you know.
But then they show his body dropping in a pool of blood. I feel like they're just, like, I don't know if we're going to get any more sequels or anything out of this. Let's just,
Yeah,
balls to the wall, just send it.
this is not your grandmother and grandfather's Wonder Woman, ladies and gentlemen.
No, Wonder Woman's kind of a bitch in this one.
Kinda.
Okay, yeah, full on, but
She cheats on Aquaman and then kills his wife for getting mad at her,
yeah, I mean,
and then kills a bunch of kids. But yeah,
I'd like to see who
Wonder Woman.
I'd like to see who initiated that hookup. I mean,
Huh. I bet you. You know what? I bet you maybe it was Wonder Woman doing it on purpose
I feel like she just kind
to
of she just
to
didn't like Mira and was just like, I'm just gonna take it.
yeah. Yeah, maybe that too.
Or maybe she did. Wonder Woman did.
There's
have a big problem.
definitely more to it in hindsight.
I mean, there's so much of this story that there is just more
Yeah.
that we don't actually get to see, but
And a lot of it might be fan speculation, but
yeah,
I bet you it was because Wonder Woman is she's the shit in this universe. Like she's the top dog. She definitely had some kind of agenda behind hooking up with Aquaman.
yeah, maybe she just. I mean, the Amazonians can be brutal, so I guess maybe she just felt like I just want to start a war, you know?
And they've always hated like humans.
Okay,
So maybe she
racist.
just wanted to take over the whole world. And obviously Atlantis kind of runs 70% of this world because it's all water. But
yeah,
so that was a big playing part. So she either needed to take them over or have them join her side.
I mean, I guess it's just more or less just. I'm just going with everyone hates humans, so let's just
Who do you think would win that battle though? Like in a storyline of just them two fighting, Atlanteans versus Amazonians.
So
I know.
the question,
There's probably more Atlanteans.
yeah. Also, the Atlanteans have tech too. 'Cause
Yeah.
throughout the movie, we just see bows and arrows from the Amazonians, but the Atlanteans have just like laser guns. They have ships.
Yeah.
They have
And
Captain
then
Atom as a bomb.
yeah.
So,
Huh.
I mean, also it depends. Like, are they as strong or like at least similar to like
Yeah.
similar to like Aquaman and Wonder Woman, or are they just like humans-ish? I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to think that because the way they put it, it makes it seem like every Atlantean is as strong as Aquaman would be. Just because of Aquaman's just as strong as he is because of like he's under the sea, so his skin's tougher and all that shit. But I would like to think the average Atlantean's just like maybe kind of more bulletproof and can swim fast and stuff like that. So they're maybe a little bit more than human.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother tangent in like.
Yeah, for
Things,
sure.
but yep. So we're wrapping up towards the end of the plot. I believe, yeah. Aquaman and Aquaman and Cyborg get into it, and Aquaman is just completely wrecking him. I mean, Cyborg really doesn't stand a chance. He gets his whole like casing for his torso just torn open. You see his heart, and just as Aquaman is about to deal the killing blow, his arm just pops off, and we see that it's Superman. Shot a laser, just cut his arm right off, and
Yep.
he's there to protect his new friend, who he's known for all of 6 minutes. But hey, I guess that's enough to start a friendship. You know?
Yeah, and cut another person's arm off.
Well, I mean, yeah, but also like Superman has like the mind of a child. A
Yeah,
very
at this point,
abused
true.
and broken child. So Cyborg
He's
probably just like
basically
smiled
yeah.
at him, and he's like, "Oh, I'll
He's
kill
basically
anybody."
Jeffrey Dahmer at this point.
Oh, I did not. Nope, not quite that, but
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer was the cannibal, right?
Yeah. Wait, you're telling me Superman didn't eat the Shazam kids after they were dead in this movie?
I think we have to look for. Okay,
Oh, I might have to rewatch that part.
I want the Flashpoint cut right now. Hashtag cannibal Superman.
Give us the original cut, DC.
Okay, this
Warner Brothers.
Okay, this is getting too dark. No, we do not need to see Superman cannibalizing on. Okay, anyways.
Okay.
So yeah, Thawne shows up and like starts messing with Barry, and they get into a fight, and Flash just says like, goes to Thawne, is like, well, why'd you do all this? And Thawne reveals that I didn't do any of this. He's like, you did. And it's like kind of the moment of the whole thing. But then Thawne starts talking. He's asking, telling him basically about the butterfly effect, where you change one little thing in the past, it could drastically impact the future.
Mm.
And so we find out that at some point Barry decided to go back in time and save his mother from dying, which caused a ripple effect, and just and I mean, Thawne was actually right. He was saying like, all this is your fault just for being selfish. And Barry's like, oh, I want to save my mom, and Thawne's just like, well, you kind of fucked everyone else over. So
Do you know what I'm just thinking of again too though? So you know how earlier with the grifter scene, there was a Flash type character that caught all the bullets or arrows or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And obviously now we know it was Reverse Flash, but what I'm thinking is that I think Reverse Flash kind of made this universe the way it was. Like, yeah, Barry did what he did, but I think Thawne, throughout the universe's timeline, did little things here and there to make it even worse.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bad guy, so
yeah, I don't think Barry's mom not dying would do all of this. I understand the butterfly effect, but I think the Reverse Flash definitely did a little bit more to make the situation worse, to make Barry feel more bad about himself.
Oh yeah, he probably could have been like, lying for the most part, and like, yeah, he could have been messing things up. But
yeah, I definitely believe that.
Like, there's an episode of The Simpsons, I believe it was a Treehouse of Horror, where Homer has a toaster, I believe, that like lets him travel back in time, and he just starts stepping on. He tries so carefully not to like step on anything, and then he ends up like just stepping on everything, and then that changes like his family's like aliens. It rains donuts in some part, like whole bunch of things. So I haven't done time travel recently, so can't really tell you how it
yeah,
works,
facts.
But I'll get I'll get on it this weekend. So
yeah, that's when Thawne was explaining the time boom thing, right? He's like, like, what did he say? He was like something, and then he's like, but you did it in time, a time boom.
Again, I feel that was just him describing the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
He's like, anything you do, like, I think what he was saying is like him saving his mom, basically just changed, like,
yeah,
like it wasn't like making a slight change, like that was basically, to a degree, reanimating somebody.
Yeah.
So you have an extra person in a timeline.
Because
Your interactions and stuff, everything can change. I mean, you know, people talking to people, just it's. I'm
yeah, you know what I
explaining it a
also
lot
just
more.
realized?
Yeah.
I think Bruce Wayne is older than the Flash, and the Flash was. I think the Flash was like older than Bruce when he died, or when Bruce's parents died. So I'm thinking like the Waynes, like Joe Chill killed Bruce before Barry's mom would have been saved in this universe. So, ah, time travel.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole that you really can't find your way out of,
Yeah, my brain.
especially when it's not
Because
like.
it's there's so much theoretical stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, it's not. This is a movie that deals with time travel and alternate universe, but it's not like Harry Potter or Endgame, where they
Harry
actually
Potter.
where they actually, like, at least attempt to describe how things are you know working in the
Yeah,
universe.
true. They had the balls to explain it. That's true.
I mean, people were still going to
I do
complain and
I
not be
do
happy with it,
respect that.
but
Yeah, I respect it. I know what you mean.
all right. Lost my train of thought. Okay. Um,
Time
so
time boom.
yeah, time boom. Okay, and actually, there was a scene where that I before, like, when he was fighting Thawne, where they're doing the speedster thing, racing around, and
Mm.
they jump like off of a building, and as they're falling, they kind of don't, since they have no traction, they're not using their speed powers, and they're just kind of fighting. Then they land back on the side of the building and sprint, which I thought was pretty cool.
Mm.
But yep, after Thawne makes Barry feel like an utter piece of shit, he's ready to deal the killing blow because he broke him emotionally. He's pretty physically beaten, so now Thawne wants to kill him. And just as he's about to give the killing blow, his face goes blank, and it pans up slightly, and you just see a bullet hole with Batman standing behind him. Which is just,
Hell yeah.
That scene was just awesome.
Yeah, it's one of the better final acts in all of DC animated history.
Yeah, and I apologize. I think I skipped over at some point when Bruce was fighting, or sorry, when Thomas Wayne was fighting. I believe he got like somewhat injured, and then that's like we see him again after that. So
Yeah.
yeah. So then, yeah. So after that, Aquaman, while he's dying, hits the button on his belt, which starts to detonate the bomb of Captain Atom.
Frickin' Captain Atom.
And yeah, just a nuke that it's gonna wipe out the whole battlefield. And Barry musters the strength to stand up again, and he starts running as fast as he can. And as the whole world behind him starts blowing up,
Yeah.
we get Barry running through the Speed Force, and I like that. I mean, he just, his suit's all cut up, he's bleeding, but he's like able to access the Speed Force, and he's just running, and he's able to actually catch up to his past self, or would that be a different version?
No, it was like his past self. It was him from the beginning of the movie when he was gonna go back and save his mom.
Okay, so he's able to go and stop that version of himself from saving his mom. So Flash's mom's dead still, but Flash then again wakes up at the computer, same way as when he entered the old or the alternate universe, and yep, everything seems to be fine and good, and that's basically the wrap of the movie. We close out though with Flash telling Bruce Wayne Batman about kind of his whole little ordeal, and right before he's about to leave, he hands Bruce a note, and Bruce looks at it and he notices that it's his father's handwriting. and we don't really get to see what the note says, but actually makes Bruce cry. You see the teardrops on the note, and looks back at Flash and says, "You're one hell of a messenger," which I like that
Yeah,
scene a
so
lot.
good.
I mean,
Yeah, so good.
I mean,
That
the scene hit
that's why
harder.
Batman.
Sorry, the scene hit
I was just
harder
gonna say. Yeah.
too because it was Kevin Conroy voicing. I thought it just made it better.
No doubt. Yeah, that's why Batman's such a great character.
Yep, and that is yeah, that's really all I have as far as notes and plot for Flashpoint Paradox. But
Yeah. So what are your final thoughts overall?
it's a fun movie. That's the way I'd label it. Um, there's some, you know, uh, intelligent parts to it, but I feel like if anyone were to watch it and if you're not as caught up on DC knowledge as Nick and I'd say it's a good movie to just shut your brain off and just enjoy. It's great animation, pretty good pacing, and yeah, it's just a fun movie.
I mean, yeah, it's easily a top tier movie in this universe, even though it's not the same universe technically, but the same series. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But yeah, we're not gonna give any specific reviews, like a 1 out of 5. We're not gonna give anyone right that till the end of the whole series where we do a whole tier list. But I think from now on, at the end, we should like give a movie either a nerdy or a cinephile. Nerdy just meaning, it's a nerdy movie. Any nerd's gonna like this, or is this movie good enough to be a cinephile type movie? Like, can anyone enjoy this?
yeah,
And there is a lot to know and a lot to learn about. Like, there's a lot going on. You have to kind of know about the DC universe to kind of understand and get everything that is hinted at in this movie. So I'd definitely give it a nerdy. It's a great watch.
yeah. I would give it nerdy as well. There's a lot of little like Easter eggs and like cameos and stuff. I mean, like I said earlier in the video, I could do like a good amount of stuff like, or a good amount of writing just on just characters that we see. I think I got most of them. I mean, like Black Manta, Aqualad, Griff, like all that, but there was definitely
Hmm.
more that I kind of glossed over, and be it characters I'm not too familiar with, or whatever. But yeah, no, it was a fun movie, and this is a good start.
Oh, no doubt. It's a start to a very great and fulfilling universe.
I mean, yeah, I I'd be as bold as to say like the upcoming movies they do a lot better at being connected, but I'd say they even rival the Marvel movies in my opinion.
Oh,
Um,
no doubt.
and that's not
It-
just because I'm biased towards DC, but yeah, there's a lot of like content coming up. I believe we have like 15 movies left or something,
yeah,
or
if
maybe
not
more,
more. Yeah.
which is all one connected universe, and it only gets crazier.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's such a good universe. I'm excited. So, next episode is going to be about Justice League War, which is another very good movie. And looking forward, but we'll have to talk more about it then.
Yeah, I mean, this was the start of the universe, but the next movie really is the start of the connected
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah, it's
Where,
the fresh start. It's the fresh start post this mess of a timeline in this movie.
yeah,
A mess in a good way. This movie just presented the universes, and it's just wiping the slate clean and giving you a fresh start for the next movie.
yep, and starting with the next movie, we'll start seeing similar animation, uh, returning,
Yeah, very consistent.
yep, returning voice actors, and cameos, and also solo movies. Which
Mhm.
once we get to Superman, I cannot wait because I have so much to say about that.
Which isn't till the end, so there's going to be a long road. But we get a lot of Superman content.
Yeah, and yeah. Well, that was our review and thoughts on Justice League Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, follow us on every social media platform at Nerdy Cinephiles. That's at Nerdy Cinephiles on everything, even OnlyFans. But I mean, you don't have to follow us on there if you don't want to. Yes, we have it. We had to secure that name. I don't know if we'll ever make content on there, but who knows? Follow us on Instagram, Twitter at Nerdy Cinephiles, like I said again. And yeah.
If we get enough followers on OnlyFans, I might have to do something, but
Yeah, might have to do a little something,
a
something.
little something, son. All right.
That sounded so bad. All right.
All right. Well,
we got to go.
Yep. I'm Trevor.
And I'm Nick.
Thank you for enjoying the file.
Yeah, and we're the Nerdy Cinephiles. Peace.